10 forbidden Japanese cars that could outrun sports cars. Welcome back, speed addicts and torque chasers. Today we're diving into the underworld of Japanese engineering, the cars that never made it to the big stage but could smoke a so-called supercar before lunch. These were the rebels of the streets, machines so fast that regulators panicked and sealed them away. So buckle up, because we're unlocking the garage of 10 forbidden Japanese beasts that could outrun the best of Europe's show ponies without even breaking a sweat. 10. Subaru Legacy RSR. Long before the Impreza WRX became a rally household name, Subaru's fire began with the Legacy RSR. It looked ordinary, a four-door sedan with clean and sensible lines, but under the hood was a turbocharged 2-liter EJ20 engine bred directly from rally stages. It was all business, with a lightened body, reinforced transmission, close-ratio gearbox, and Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive system that gave it incredible grip on any surface. The RSR stood for Rally Special Racing, and that was exactly what it was, a rally car hiding behind family car looks. The Legacy RSR was never built for comfort or compliance. It had no air conditioning, minimal sound insulation, and a cabin that felt more like a pit lane than a showroom. Regulators were not thrilled about that. Many countries restricted or outright banned it from road use because of noise, emissions, and the lack of modern safety features. 9. Mitsubishi FTO GPVR. The Mitsubishi FTO was meant to be the sensible cousin to the Lancer Evolution, a stylish, front-wheel drive coupe for everyday drivers. But then came the GPVR, and Mitsubishi apparently decided that sensible was overrated. This limited production version stuffed in the 2-liter Mivec V6 Rev Happy and razor sharp, sending nearly 200 horsepower to the just-off-plot front wheels through a close-ratio manual gearbox. The FTO GPVR was a precision instrument disguised as a commuter coupe. Its power band was electric, the chassis balance almost supernatural, and the steering tuned so tight it felt like the car was wired directly to your fingertips. 8. Mazda RX-7 Spirit R Type A. The Spirit R Type A was Mazda's parting gift to the rotary faithful, a machine that distilled everything the RX-7 had ever stood for into one final masterpiece. Under the hood sat the 13 Biru twin-turbo rotary, delivering a claimed 276 horsepower, though anyone who drove one knew that number was conservative. The car's featherweight design and perfect 50/50 balance gave it an edge most supercars could only dream of. It was not just about power. The RX-7 Spirit R moved with a precision that bordered on telepathic. The steering felt alive, the brakes bit hard, and the turbos spooled in perfect harmony with the throttle. On a mountain pass, it danced rather than drove, turning corners into poetry. But regulators saw something different. Emissions rules and safety tests in the United States, and Canada labeled it too unconventional. The rotary's oil-burning habits and tricky maintenance scared off compliance boards. It was banned not because it was dangerous, but because it didn't fit the mold. Over time, that only added to its mystique. 7. Honda Civic Type R EK9. Before the Civic Type R became a global performance badge, it was Japan's Little Red Devil. The EK9, released in 1997, was the first Type R to ever grace the Civic lineup, and it set a benchmark that even big-name sports cars struggled to match. Honda didn't just make it faster, they rebuilt it from the inside out. The hand-ported B16B VTEC engine screamed to 8,400 revolutions per minute, making 182 horsepower out of just 1.6 liters. The gearbox was so close ratio it felt like it could sense your next shift, and the chassis was seam welded for rigidity straight from the factory. Add a helical limited slip differential, featherweight body, and razor edge suspension, and you got a car that could dance around bigger rivals with twice the power. But it was too raw for export. Emissions laws, crash safety, and a lack of side impact beams got it banned from several markets, including the US. It wasn't a matter of speed or danger. It was about regulations that couldn't handle something this single-minded. The EK9 wasn't built for comfort. 6. Toyota Caldina GT4. The Toyota Caldina GT4 was what happened when the engineers who built the Celica GT4 decided to sneak a sports car into the family segment. At first glance, it was just a wagon, practical, boxy, and ready to carry groceries. But behind that mild exterior lived a 260 horsepower 3S GTE turbo engine and an all-wheel drive system borrowed from Rally, Royalty. It could hit 100 kilometers per hour in under 6 seconds, while still carrying a week's worth of luggage. Toyota didn't market it as a sports car, but everyone who drove it knew it was one of the fastest wagons on the planet. It handled like a Celica GT4 but had the space of a Camry. It was the ultimate undercover speed machine. Unfortunately, that very setup made it a bureaucratic nightmare overseas. The Caldina's powertrain was too potent to pass emissions testing in several regions, and its right-hand drive configuration limited exports. The United States never got it at all. Even New Zealand and parts of Europe initially restricted imports due to its high power-to-weight ratio. Sync. Nissan Pulsar GT-IR. If you took a grocery hatchback, gave it rally steroids, and dared it to misbehave, you'd get the Nissan Pulsar GT-R. On paper, it looked harmless, a compact hatch that could pass a student's first car. But lift the hood, and you found the heart of a Skyline GT-R's angry little brother. Nissan dropped the SR20 DET turbocharged engine inside, feeding 227 horsepower through an all-wheel drive system that shared DNA with their Group A rally cars. The thing weighed under 1,200 kilograms, and the bonnet scoop wasn't for show. It gulped air straight into an intercooler mounted right on top of the engine. This car could launch harder than many sports coupes of its time. But that same aggression got it into trouble. The GT-IR's brutal turbo lag and snappy handling made it too sharp for average drivers, and too expensive for Nissan to keep refining. Rally regulations also shifted, and the car was soon sidelined. Outside Japan, import laws hit it again. Its wild emissions, safety quirks, and limited production numbers made it illegal in several countries. 4. Toyota Soarer 2,5 GT Twin Turbo. The Toyota Soarer 2. 5 GT Twin Turbo was what happened when Toyota's engineers got two Ts, bored of being sensible. Underneath the luxury coupe silhouette lived the 1JZ GTE. A straight-six twin-turbo engine that practically begged to be modified. It was smooth, it was fast, and it could outrun half the sports cars of its time while massaging your back with heated seats. Launched in the late 1980s, the Soarer blurred the line between luxury cruiser and street predator. It came with active suspension, digital instrumentation, and performance that punched far above its weight. It was a masterpiece of engineering subtlety, the kind of car that didn't need a spoiler to flex its muscle. Unfortunately, regulators weren't fans. Emissions compliance in the United States turned into a wall too high to climb. And the Soarer's advanced electronics made it difficult to adapt for. Iga. Mitsubishi Galant VR. The Mitsubishi Galant VR4 looked like a commuter car that stayed late at the office. But once it clocked out, it was pure rally-bred chaos. Born in the late 1980s, the VR4 packed a 4G63 turbocharged engine, sending power to all four wheels. It was the direct ancestor of the Lancer Evolution and carried the same DNA turbo torque, rally toughness, and a stubborn refusal to understeer. It dominated in WRC until the smaller, lighter Lancer took over. But on the road, it remained a monster hiding behind chrome trim. With 240 horsepower and a sophisticated all-wheel drive system, the Galant VR4 could take corners faster than cars with twice the prestige. Mitsubishi gave it four-wheel steering, too, because turning conventionally just wasn't exciting enough. Then came the bans. Strict US emissions laws, coupled with safety testing costs. Mazda Cosmo 20B. The Mazda Cosmo 20B wasn't just ahead of its time. It was from another planet. Released in the early 1990s, this luxury Grand Tourer was the first production car to feature a triple-rotor engine. The 20B engine displaced just 2 liters, but thanks to twin turbos, it produced 280 horsepower and a torque curve smoother than jazz on vinyl. This was Japan's idea of a futuristic flagship, loaded with tech no one else dared to try. It had GPS navigation years before the rest of the world caught on, a touchscreen interface, when most cars still had cassette decks, and a cabin trimmed like a first-class lounge. It was elegant, exotic, and extremely fast for something that looked so restrained. But the 20B also spelled trouble. That triple-rotor engine drank fuel like a thirsty V8, and emissions regulations in North America and parts of Europe said absolutely not. It never made it to the US, and many countries imposed import restrictions, citing unreliable emissions data and complex maintenance. Even in Japan, it became a rare sight, mostly bought by executives who didn't mind paying for a car that demanded constant attention. The band turned it into a cult machine. Nissan Stega 260 RS Autech. The Nissan Stega 260 RS Autech was the kind of car that made no sense on paper and perfect sense on the road. It looked like a family wagon meant for grocery runs and school drop-offs, yet it secretly carried the heart of a Skyline GTR. Autech, Nissan's in-house tuning division, took the humble Stega and transformed it into a full-blown monster. Under the hood sat the RB26 DETT engine, the same twin-turbo straight-six that powered the R33 GTR. This was not just a badge exercise. The 260 RS came with an all-wheel drive system borrowed straight from the GTR, a 5-speed manual gearbox, upgraded suspension, and Brembo brakes. It could haul both groceries and reputations, sprinting from 0 to 60 inches under 5 seconds while carrying a family of 5 and luggage in the back. To the untrained eye, it was just another wagon. But anyone who knew cars understood that this thing could humiliate sports cars on the highway without breaking a sweat. Inside, the Stega mixed practicality with performance intent. You got supportive bucket seats, GTR-style dials, and enough cargo space to rival a small SUV. It was the ultimate sleeper, a car that never needed to shout to prove its point. The reason it became forbidden in several countries had little to do with safety or emissions, and everything to do with confusion. Customs officers and regulators simply didn't know what to do with a 276 horsepower wagon that technically wasn't a GTR but shared almost everything with one. In the United States, it remained off-limits until it aged into legal import status, which only fueled its myth further. Today, the Stega 260 RS stands as one of the most genius crossovers of practicality and performance ever built.